There's Seuss-a-ghetti, and it's made two different ways. So my Seuss-a-ghetti has the spirulina right into the pesto sauce, and James's, you can see his is yellow. That's a bit different. And I have sushi there, and it's spelt like Dr. Seuss. And there's the spirulina I used. And you'd think tropical fruit punch, that tastes gross, but nope, it was delicious. And I used these sunflower seeds, soaked them for my sauce. I'll talk about how my sauce is different from James's sauce. Being John Malkovich got top of the stack against these other things. And of course the eggs are quail eggs. So I guess pretty much James is going to be doing the talking in this episode. This was the first time he'd seen Being John Malkovich, and don't worry about that. That's fine. So, I guess, do you want me to talk about the food first while you eat a bit, or do you want to, since your stuff is really nice and warm, and mine isn't as warm. I have an open here. They get everywhere. So, I was going to put quail eggs all over mine, but I thought, well, you know, I already have my dose of the spirulina in the sauce. So, well, not quite a whole dose, but that's okay because I might have another serving later because Seuss-a-ghetti is delicious, and so is sushi. But anyway, so I just decided, well, you know, that'll be enough fun for me just having this, and James will have fun with the eggs, and it shows you what it should look like anyway. So I could put the eggs on top of here, or I could make any kind of Seuss balls. I could cover spirulina on those, what are those called? Is that bocce cheese? The round cheeses. I could cover that and put that all over here if I wanted to, or over there. So James's pesto sauce is actually quite traditional, even though it doesn't look like it. His sauce has it's the regular garlic, basil, parmesan, olive oil, and the difference is the egg yolks, because I mean, mine under here, I have some egg whites, and I've been eating egg whites like crazy. It's in the sushi, egg whites without the yolks. And so he has that, but it actually looks like more than it is because he has carrots underneath that, because I was baking carrots while I was baking the squash in a casserole, you know, so he has some carrots under there, whereas I have egg whites under mine. And if you wanted to make this not sushi or Seuss-a-ghetti, if you didn't want to put the spirulina in it, and you just wanted to put regular, like, little white eggs looking beautiful, then you just do what I did underneath and munch up the egg whites, a bunch of egg whites, and put it underneath. Or even egg whites and the yolks, or just the egg yolks, whatever. Just something so that it's either a similar color to the spaghetti squash or a similar color to the white eggs that you're going to put on top, right? It makes sense. So that's why my pesto sauce with the spirulina in it, that's really green, works too, because you could put the spirulina eggs on top and it'd look like the sauce. Whereas James's, it looks more like, his sauce looks more like the spaghetti squash, and that works too. So I think his actually works better, having the spaghetti squash colored. But, you know, that's up to what you want to eat, right? Because mine, without, like, if I don't have the egg whites underneath, and if I made this sushi without egg whites, which is very easy to do too. I could make this vegan very easily. I could make this vegan very easily because the sauce that I made here for mine is vegan. And it is not a traditional kind of pesto sauce at all. It's what I used. You notice I brought the sunflower seeds out. I used half a bag. I wouldn't recommend that brand. I had to do a lot of hand hulling because there were bits of yeah, not good. So like I went to Bulk Barn and I looked at the price of sunflower seeds and I'm like, wow, they're kind of pricey right now. And I remembered seeing them in the like health food aisle at Superstore where they have the organic foods and stuff like that, for about the same price, if not a little cheaper. And so I thought, well, I'll just get that bag from next time I'm at Superstore. So I did, and I wouldn't if I were you, but whatever. So I soaked the sunflower seeds, drained them, minced them in the food processor, added nutritional yeast and some salt, quite a bit of pink salt actually, the Himalayan salt. And what else did I put in? Oh, the regular sort of, like I made enough of the fried up the garlic with the basil and some olive oil in here, and I think that's it. Oh, no, because it has to be sushi and it has to be Seuss-a-ghetti. So liquid smoke, because, you know, green eggs and ham, right? So that's what's in this. And then what else? Of course, the spirulina. Now, I noticed at the one Bulk Barn that I went, and I'm sure they're at all of them now, they have big bulk. You can buy spirulina in bulk now, which is awesome. But, you know, it was more awesome for me because I got that container of spirulina for $12.50. And
it's very expensive.
Yeah, it was. They might be getting out of carrying the spirulina in containers because they're carrying it in bulk. That might be it. But anyway, I really like that tropical fruit punch flavor spirulina. It's delicious, and you'd think it wouldn't go well in foods like this. It is so good. It's really good in the sushi, really good in the Seuss-a-ghetti. Delicious. So both of our meals are keto meals. So where do I go with the diet tip of the day? I mean, I have spirulina, which is so awesome. I should show you actually how awesome spirulina is. So mind you, you don't eat very much of it at one time, but I don't know if you can see that nutritional information. But yeah, you get 3 grams of protein out of one tiny little scoop. It's just a very small scoop. Man, that's good. And 1 gram of carbs. It's pretty awesome. So it does have a caution on here. Do not drink on the same day. I guess they're expecting you to drink it, as any other supplemented foods or supplements with vitamin B12 in it, because it's, you'll see, spirulina plus B12. It has the B12.
The trouble with B12 is your body stores it. You can't, if you take an excess of it, you can't excrete it the way you can. Well, actually, vitamin B's you can. Vitamin C you can.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I got that wrong. But you got to watch it anyway.
Anyway, so I made a point of not taking a multivitamin today so that I could enjoy. And now I guess, oh, I didn't talk about how I made the sushi. But you know what? You can see that it's the spirulina in the middle. And on the outside I used, it's kind of turned brown now, which that's, I guess, green eggs and ham. You could say, oh, well, that's sort of hamish color. Well, it was a lighter color of green when I made them, but the avocado, I guess there wasn't enough of the apple cider vinegar in it to hold the color, so now it's turned brown.
Avocado kind of tarnishes him.
Yeah, it sure does.
In hair or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's good. All right. So, being John Malkovich, there's 2 discs in there. I was gonna watch the other one, and I thought, I don't care. So I didn't. There's also a booklet in there. Didn't go through it. First time I watched Being John Malkovich was a long time ago. I guess it would have been 1999. And as my boyfriend at the time, his family, they loved watching movies, so they'd always rent movies, and it was very expensive to rent movies, but his mother was a curator, director of an art gallery, so she had I guess enough money that she didn't have to worry about. She could just rent the movies, whatever she wanted, right? So anyway, so
doesn't matter how much you make, it's always better to worry about it, but there you go.
Well, anyway, she seems to have always had enough in her life. So yeah, I watched a ton of movies with him, and that was one of them.
Anyway, saw it for the first time in my life, 27 years after it was put out. And, somehow or another, I thought I'd watched part of it, but I think I dreamed it based on descriptions Paul was given me about it. The thing that impressed me, she's mentioning this. Spoiler alert, the 7.5 floor is like a half-size floor in a certain office building. There's a business where John Cusack is employed. And I guess it reminded me, the description of the dreams I had increasingly as I was incapacitated with undiagnosed bone marrow cancer. I was confined to bed for about half a year, only getting up to relieve myself, really. Go to the doctor, and for the longest time being misdiagnosed. But my dreams increasingly were of me on my side, lying down, oftentimes under covers. I remember fighting, one dream I had, I was fighting the Civil War, refighting.
That's funny.
And I was under covers, right? The whole war was under covers. Another time there were some wolves going after me. And this was just before I was getting the announcement that I was terminal, in the doctor's opinion. And he wasn't incompetent, he was very competent. He was very mad with the doctors in Lethbridge. I should have used him as a witness against any variety of doctors that owe me and Pauline particularly millions of dollars. And damage done physically and just sheer stress.
Mm-hmm.
The 11th doctor I consulted, and all but one were in a professional capacity. That one, who was an exception, had retired. He was the usual pretension, but and I will clarify, as I have before, and I will again, the pretension is a particular type of arrogance. The doctors with almost everyone that they deal with are arrogant. When they deal with me, they're pretentious. If they are arrogant with me, is I'm their, you listening, doctors out there? I'm your intellectual superior. I'm willing to accord intellectual equality with anyone in the world who's nice to me. But as soon as someone starts assuming or concluding or whatever that they're superior to me intellectually, then I start making invidious comparisons. And doctors in particular just don't come up very well when I start comparing myself intellectually with them. You guys are glorified bachelor's degrees.
All right, so I was going to mention the other diet tips of the day because it's really hard for me to pick one today, and you can see with the nutritional information from the sunflower seeds that are in my sauce, it's incredible. The carbs, you look at the net carbs, so that's the 6 grams minus the fiber, 3 grams. So that's 3 grams in a third of a cup. That's almost nothing. When you think about, you're getting 6 grams of protein, you're getting a whole bunch of healthy fats and other nutrients like crazy, including copper, which, weird, hey? I mean, where would you get that?
Copper from?
Yeah, unless you have copper pipes still.
Sucking on a penny.
Yeah, exactly. So, honestly, and the spaghetti squash. I could pick the spaghetti squash as my diet tip of the day. Because there's, as far as squash go, I mean, you have, if you're keto, you're either going to eat this or you're going to eat zucchini. And I don't know, which one's more fun, zucchini or spaghetti squash? Neither one's terribly tasty.
Just want to say, it all depends on what they put it with. As far as I'm concerned, squash, zucchini too, are set up kind of foods, much like rice, potatoes, bread, so on and so forth. Now, bread isn't that much fun. Bread can be really lots of fun in sandwiches. Another thing is pizza crust. Who wants to eat a pizza crust? And, you know, like, pizza that special? You ever had a cheese pizza, folks? Not that special. But you can get a real meal on what I call a meal on a wheel on pizza. You know, like people call pizza junk food.
But we'll talk about pizza another day.
But it ain't junk food
because
if you
I'll show
put the
you
proper toppings. So.
I'll show you how to make a good keto pizza in a few days from now. So we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, Being John Malkovich is definitely worth watching.
Yeah, so
it's worth watching again and again.
Not necessarily going to recommend it. I don't know if a person, I don't know what their tastes are like, but kind of according to my taste, I don't know if you could get really, you know, it looks as though there's maybe, not so much a message, but an illustration of what can happen when you get a little bit manipulative with people. You know, so John Cusack becomes increasingly controlling. I don't think there's a spoiler alert. He's a puppeteer. Yeah? Mm-hmm. He ends up treating the people around him like he's puppeteering them, things like that. But you know, like
this is the best role I've seen really, John Cusack in. I think.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not really his personality.
Very different.
You know, like he's playing someone who's quite withdrawn and stuff like that. John Malkovich is awesome in it.
Mm-hmm. It's the best role I've seen Malkovich in. I mean, you really genuinely feel sorry for him. Because, well, I don't want to give it away.
Himself. But yeah. So, if you like stuff that's a little bit offbeat, quite imaginative, go for it. I mean, if you sit there and try to analyze what's happening, objectively say, well, you know, like, it just isn't consistent, certain things, but who cares? You know, like, go with the flow. Willing suspension of disbelief. But like I say, you don't like freaky stuff, you know, try something else. Mm-hmm. Like? Oh man. Okay. Now this, believe me, just because it's in second place doesn't mean it's, just got barely beaten out by being John Malkovich. This is what came after it. Oh yeah, horrible stuff. So it's just, this is mindless sort of stuff. If you're a kind of person, I remember some doctrinaire idiot-log or whatever. Her brother was even worse. Was at the Millers, the student newspaper at the university. Somewhere along the line, someone had sent out a poster of James Bond, and she had to deface the poster. Stuff like that. And good old fake left-wing style. Like when you vandalize something, you're exercising. Yeah, vandalize something that's delivering some sort of message. You're actually doing your form of censorship. And if you want to photocopy something and vandalize it, I have less of a problem with that. But you're just vandalizing a poster. I don't care if it's advertisement or whatever. It's a form of censorship, and I don't like left-wingers doing that. They've done way too much of that in the 20th century. So they're not really left-wingers, of course. If you're doing major league censorship, especially censoring old people from existence, a la Joseph Stalin, Daniel Ortega, Fidel Castro, incidentally. The stats seem to indicate in the 60s he killed off 50 million of his opponents, political opponents. Not 50 million, 50,000. But, that's only 5,000 a year. He's small potatoes by comparison with Stalin. That's stunning. That is stunning. Okay. Anyway, like if you're into feminism, you're probably not going to like the costume and all that sort of stuff, but she's kind of a
Why not?
woman
She's
of power.
hot.
Well, the other thing is it's a woman of power. Lyle Wagner is there, and he's kind of her boss, but he's kind of a weakling. So
I don't know which James will end up talking about in this. There's a lot of
well, this is going to take several days to go through there, so it's better if I look at the other ones. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, we actually got through watching the Secret Societies and New World Order.
It took several days and almost
things,
like several
Stateless
lives. I think I used 8 of my 9 lives. I feel like a cat after
by
going through
watching,
this crap.
like we would watch a little bit of this and then watch that and watch it. So, thank you, Wonder Woman.
Well, thank
because
you.
that helped
Linda
us go
Carter,
through
if
some
you're still
stuff it's important to go through.
Thank you.
But anyway, Stateless. Wow, this was bad. So this was talking about I should mention the subtitles. Worse in this one. The Shape of Now. I was like, I can't even read this. I can't watch it. This is useless. So, who knows? Just garbage show. Don't even bottom of the stack. It's like non-existent of the stack. It's so, the subtitles are useless unless you actually can understand the language without the subtitles. Don't even get it. Now this one, the subtitles are really bad. They're small. We have a really tiny TV, and so it's I was sitting right near the TV so that I could read the subtitles. I don't know how healthy that is. And anyway, this documentary deals with tens of thousands of Haitians and Dominicans of Haitian descent were exterminated by the Dominican Army in 1937 based on ethnic hatred, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to 2013, the Dominican Republic Supreme Court stripped the citizenship of anyone with Haitian parents, retroactive to 1929. The ruling rendered more than 200,000 people stateless, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it deals with. You know what you're getting into when you read the back. And really, it's about, you don't get stats, you don't get really useful information in this documentary. It follows one woman. She's an advocate, and
Advocate, okay.
so you see some things like I didn't know anything about the Dominican or Haiti really, about the politics and anything of the languages differences and stuff like that. I had no idea that the Dominicans spoke Spanish and the Haitians spoke French. I did not know that. And so in the show, they're showing this one guy. He didn't speak any Spanish, and he has his papers showing that he's a citizen in Dominica.
No.
But
only
he
one
can't
official
speak
language.
because he's trying to talk to somebody in an official capacity. And she's like, I can't understand him. He doesn't speak any Spanish, right? And the advocate's getting all mad at her because, well, you can't deny him because he's a citizen and this and that. And it's like, well, how can she speak with him? And why doesn't he speak the language? He's a citizen, he doesn't speak the language?
I think they were claiming he was born there. When you're born in a place and there's only one official language, unless you're Down syndrome or have some other major league problem with learning and stuff like that, you'd better learn the language.
Or you're useless to that society.
How are you going to get a job? How are you going to get one?
So, anyway.
You just become a huge burden on the system.
But this show, all that it does, hey honey, it follows, I'll get you some peanuts in a minute. It follows this woman around. And so she's an advocate, and you see her house. She's living high on the hog. She has a very fancy house.
Way fancier than us.
And and her kids are taken care of well and everything. And, she has a nice life as this advocate. So she runs this agency.
No.
Whatever.
Well, presumably she's trained as a lawyer. So advocate in a lot of languages means lawyer. But, we got to be careful. Okay. But I didn't see her doing any real work in the whole thing.
No. And so she runs for office. So really, I was watching this. So is this like a campaign video or something like that to try to? I don't know.
She lost the election. Maybe she's thinking of rerunning or something like that.
I don't know. So that's really what. This isn't so much about the people. It's about her.
Yeah.
It follows her around, and there's a lot of fake scenes that they've put in with children running away and stuff like that, talking about
across
children.
the border.
And but if you actually look at the stats, most of the people that are going across borders
everywhere are
young men. So
15
they're
to 25, maybe.
Yeah, 15 to 25.
What are the most violent people in any society, Paul?
15 to 25-year-old young men.
Yeah.
So they're just the people you don't want coming across the borders. People wouldn't care if there was a bunch of children running back and forth. But that's not the case. And
well, they'd care less, but yeah.
Haiti and Dominica, violent places.
So the stats indicate.
Frankly, we don't want either.
Well,
we don't want either. If you're a violent person, we don't want you. If you're a homosexual person who your life is in danger, well, okay. There's.
Come on in.
Yeah, but if you're violent.